Okay, so the bot's running, but not really, And the thing just gave me a no data, but it looks like we've got excellent connection again. So hopefully everything's working okay. It's giving me mixed signals. Anyway, hello, live streaming. So, most important updates, especially for people on the repeat. Well, the first exciting thing for today, I finally got my shirt. Hello, I'm on post overlaying behind. I think the music sound more real that way. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got me shirt. This is the men's unisex small size. I haven't tried it on yet. Like, I just unwrapped it maybe an hour ago or so. And yeah, it's come up good. So I think I'll do a launch on Thursday. So yeah, I've got a few more things to sort out. But yeah, it's come up nice. So I think they must print the unisex ones in Australia because there's no way it could get here that fast. The other one, the women's one, is still saying the end of November, so I'm guessing that's coming from overseas, and also I can see in the tracking that's coming by DHL, who are not my favourite delivery company, but yeah, so that one's going to take a little bit longer, but yay! So for those of you in Australia, if you want the fastest, the sort of unisex t-shirt seems to be the go, and it looks like it's got a pretty decent, neck hole as well. I think it'll fit me alright, but I'll try it on and I'll wear it on Thursday. So that's exciting. The merch stuff is coming along. And yeah, the print quality has turned out nice. And the edits that I did, and I'm glad I increased the brightness, because yeah, once you print it, it looks a bit bright on screen, but once you print it on something physical, yeah, it's come up pretty much how I expected it, which is pretty cool. And the simplification has worked out quite nicely, and yeah, I can see why you don't want the fades, because even with this, at some of the edges you can just see where the white underlay is ever so slightly out from where the red has gone on top. So you can imagine if you had lots of tiny little fade outs towards the edges, it would just not look good. So yeah, I'm glad I fixed that up, and cool, I finally, after so many years, got this on a shirt, so that's pretty cool, exciting. And yeah, I will make that available for you guys on Thursday. We'll do a live stream at around the same time. So yeah, it's Monday right now in Sydney. I know we're a bit ahead of some countries. So yeah, AE, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, 4 p.m. Thursday. That's when we'll do the next talking live stream anyway. And so no one used the form to leave me questions. That's another thing you can do is I'll reopen it after I finish this live stream. So if anyone can't make it on Thursday and wants to leave a question, there's a Google form. Yeah, so that's that. Tomorrow I'll be posting, well, I just gave you a dog video, so maybe I won't give you the lizard video. I have another lizard video coming up. I might give you I've just been working on the video about my tech, which is 2 months old, and it's taken me this long to finish it off, and yeah, so I'll maybe put that one up tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, probably I'll do another gaming live stream. Maybe I'll just make Wednesdays my gaming day, although the following Wednesday I've got an appointment, so I won't be able to do that, but yeah. So Wednesday, gaming live stream probably, unless I'm really tired, in which case maybe I will post a lizard video. And then Thursday, yeah, we'll do our merch launch, assuming I can get all the shop things to work, but I think it'll be alright, and we can have a try-on of the thing, and yeah, so I've also got to set up I'm going to set up a discount for the rest of November, I think. And then after that, it'll go back to the prices that they say. So those, I think, the main things to know about what's going on, I guess, for this week. Then I filmed a couple more vlogs today. Oh, so one was finishing off the tech one that I might post tomorrow, and then another one I was answering some questions, or sort of, someone left a comment that only had a couple of questions, but they did a whole ramble, and I've taken a few things on that as rambling prompts, because there are some sort of common things that come up. It's about schizoid things, so some common points that I've seen in people's comments where people are wondering about, whether or not they have it, should they get diagnosed, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, there's a video coming up about that. And then there were a couple of other things I wanted to make videos on but didn't have the time today. So we'll see when I get to record them, when I get to post them. But yeah, so, what? I'm just catching up with what day it even is. Okay, so on Thursday last week I had psychology, and so I'm going to be seeing a different psychologist next week on the Wednesday, and so that's why I won't be doing my gaming streaming then. And so this is one of the dissociation specialists, and yeah, it's the only appointment she has left for the rest of the year. So, and then I'm seeing my regular psychologist in December again, so it's a month apart. Yeah, so a bit nervous about that, and getting assessed for stuff, and seeing a new person and I have to go to a different place. But yeah, I'm doing the things and we'll see how it goes. Is there anything? I think that's the main updates that I've got for now. So, if there's anything you wanna... I think it's just you, Jack's Law, so if you wanna have a chat, you know, just type me some stuff and I will ramble away. Otherwise, I'll sort of sit here and just, like, think of things to talk about. I guess I'm still on the 4th season of Dexter and I'm getting a little bit tired of it. Oh my god, they make so many mistakes. I don't understand why people think that this is the best season of Dexter. Is it just because someone famous was the killer? Is that the only reason? Because that made it hard for me because I'm used to Third Rock from the Sun and just trying to imagine Dick Solomon as a serial killer. Hello! Hey! So you got Solar Scribe Chronicler as well. I don't know if you've seen on the Patreon yet. I got me shirt, and so we're gonna do the launch on Thursday. I don't think it was season 4 that... Yeah, no, it's just like a lot of people that I've talked to about Dexter think, or like, you know, comments I've seen as well, think that the 4th season was the best season. It does, it looks good. I'm happy with how it turned out and happy with like the edits that I made to make it shirtable because my original design... Yeah. So I've just been on a ramble about stuff, but... Shirt. So this is the unisex. I'm just trying to get it out of that chat window. This is the unisex men's sort of one, which I think must be printed in Australia. The women's one is still coming at the end of the month. So yeah, for my fellow Aussies, if you want the shirt as fast as possible, just get the unisex. Even if you're a chick, like, I don't know, like, the unisex and men's ones are usually fine, but I am curious to see what the women's one is like when it finally comes, and I'll show you once I get it. But yeah, if for the Aussies out there, if you want it as fast as possible, this is the one to get. And it came out pretty good. And you can see, if I bring it a bit closer... Oh, no, I can't see that. So yeah. You know, obviously I had to simplify some of the details, but I think I did a reasonably good job at figuring out which bits to delete so that it wouldn't be, like, covered in, you know, just things that shouldn't be there. Little artifacts. Yeah. So... now that everyone's turning up Thursday, 4 p.m. Sydney time, we'll do the whole launch. Probably with Patreon, I might do things a little, like, you know, just let you know a little bit earlier once everything's sort of sorted. But I'll probably be doing most of that on Thursday, so you won't get too much advance warning, I guess. Unless I can get onto it on Wednesday. But anyway, so that's happening. Streaming on Wednesday will probably just be gaming, but yeah, we're going to do a Thursday stream for the merch, and hopefully I'll get like the stream elements thing ready so if anyone buys one while we're live it'll pop up. But yeah, so season 4 of Dexter, yeah, so many people have told me that that's the best one, and I'm just like, but why? Like, yeah, okay, famous actor, I don't know, I just don't see what people like in this, unless it's because, you know, most of these people are more normal people, because there's a lot of relationship bullshit in this. And there's so many dumb, frustrating decisions that people are making. This is one of the things that I hate that writers do sometimes. You know, to keep the plot moving along, they get their characters making dumb decisions so that it causes more conflict that didn't have to happen just because they're scrounging for a story. That annoys me. That happened a lot in Battlestar Galactica. At one point, they just, like, all the characters started making the dumbest decisions possible and, like, being really... like, you know, their social interactions were just unnecessarily antagonistic, just to make sure that there's some kind of a plot. I'm like, come on, surely you can come up with better than that. So, yeah, I'm just, and then, you know, even the Trinity serial killer, like, his whole idea and his personality, and I'm just like, I'm not hip with this. So, it's a bit of a slog, but I have one disc left to watch, and then I can move on with my life. Season 5, from memory, like, it was okay, nothing special, but I think it was easier for me to watch than this one. Season 6 is what I'm waiting for. That's the next one I like, because it's got, like, the weird religious things going on, and, you know, hallucination and shit, and split personality shit, and it's, yeah, good fun, that one. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Season 7 has some fun stuff in it, especially at the beginning, but then it drops off a bit. until the ending, which is dramatic. Season 8, I don't remember very well because my brain got the wrong idea about what was happening and I've only seen it once, so I probably have a warped idea of what happened, but the ending, yeah, I agree, was like, ugh. And I remember I watched the Dexter finale with my ex. I think I might have still been living with my ex. When did that come out? I don't even know. Yeah, I had been watching the finale of Breaking Bad and then stopped halfway through, and then we were watching the finale of Dexter. I didn't watch any of Breaking Bad, but then after Dexter, like, the ending was just so, what? Really? That after that, we watched the last half hour of Breaking Bad, and me not having watched the rest of Breaking Bad, that last half hour of Breaking Bad, I was like, that was a good ending. Dexter is a superhero show. The people who like it are the Punisher fans, even if they don't know it. I don't even know what the Punisher is. It sounds like a wrestler name or something. Or, I don't know, maybe there's a superhero with that. Anyway, yeah, so, I'm sort of bracing for the end of Dexter. But I think I have read some theories that people have had that if you use it as headcanon, make it a little bit easier to deal with, so, you know, see how I interpret it this time around. And then I'll finally get on to the newer one. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing there. Oh my god, and I've got to rewrite my to-do list because it's just gotten out of hand again. It's comic books is what the show is. Okay, I don't read comic books and I'm not really hip with the whole comic book superhero world. It just sounds like the name of a wrestler. You know how they have those funny names? When you're talking to people who like Dexter, you need to think of them like that. But see, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what the Punisher is, so I can't think of them like that. I don't have any connection to that. So maybe it makes sense to you, but it doesn't make sense to me. I know that, like, I've heard that the Dexter books get a little bit weird. So that's the closest I know to any of that. Yeah, I'm really not a superhero kind of person. Like, I remember when the first lot of superhero movies came out and it was kind of fun and interesting, but then once they started pumping them out constantly, the conversation is more what they want if you do. Okay, well, not being social anyway, I'm probably not going to talk to anyone about it really. And Dexter's kind of like old news too, so most people aren't really thinking about it. Punisher is like a vigilante who kills criminals rather than turning them over to the police. Okay. Probably doesn't change anything for me though. But yeah, no, I remember when this first superhero movies came out, like the original Spider-Man movies, and what else was coming out around them. Because I know, like, they were making a lot of Superman movies, like, on and off, and then, you know, the Superman curse used to be a thing. It probably makes me seem really old. He's just a guy who punishes criminals kind of like Dexter, but more violent and straightforward. Okay. That if it's more straightforward, then it's probably not my thing. I like all the weird, complicated shit. Just not all the dumb relationship crap that they weasel in there. But hey, whatever. Eventually Darla will die anyway, so... Oh, it's funny when the characters, like, you know, I recognize the actors from different shows, and, yeah, sometimes it's a bit hard for me to disconnect that. It's like how Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise in every single movie. He's never not Tom Cruise. Oh dear. Yeah, no, what else from all those earlier superhero movies? I mean, Spider-Man's the one that I think of the most, I guess. I guess the first Iron Man. I didn't really see any after that. But, like, you know, that sort of era. But then once I think... And then, oh yeah, Batman, especially the second... What is it? The Dark Knight. But I think once Iron Man came out, and then there was that end credit scene connecting it to the rest of their universe or whatever, which I, as someone who doesn't care about comics, had no reason to give a shit about. Once that happened, and then they started pumping out more and more and more superhero movies, I'm just like, I can't keep up with this shit. And, huh? forget she's not called Darla in Dexter. Yeah. I mean, at least she's not Dick Solomon, I guess. Because trying to view him as a serial killer, sad old man kind of character, it's just like, aww. You know. He probably should have stayed on the other planet instead of coming back, but... Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. The whole superhero universe. I fell out of that a long time ago, and then to find out that these days it's really gone off the rails, I'm like, yeah, okay. People finally getting into that. But yeah, no, Disney is a bit. And I hear that Doctor Who has moved to Disney, or like teamed up. Disney and BBC have teamed up to make Doctor Who even worse, if that's possible. I don't know, it's just like, after Chibnall kind of ruined it, and like, I got the impression from what I've read that Chibnall didn't even like Doctor Who, or, you know, criticised it a lot back in the day, and so you give someone like that the writing position, it's just, it feels weird. And after he completely destroyed, you know, the established canon, I think I watched one more episode after that, which had some more Dalek stuff, because they somehow keep coming back, but yeah, after that I was just like, I can't keep watching this, it's completely messed up. So, you know, Disney can have it, and just won't waste any more time on it. I loved Dexter as a show when it first came out, and I was never into comic books, but now I understand, and I blame YouTube. I gotta say, YouTube does teach me all kinds of random stuff that I just don't need to know, like about how ships work, and how depending on like the length of the ship and how wide the ship is, and how it, you know, different things make it easier or harder to turn or to keep in a straight line. And I'm like, I am never going to captain a ship. Why am I being shown this content? But I watch it anyway. At least lock-picking lawyer is kind of fun. And so now when I watch Dexter and he's really fast at picking locks, I'm like, okay, that is possible. Whereas before, it's sort of like, oh, no one would be able to do it that fast. No, actually, lock-picking lawyer, he's shown us the way, and half the time you don't even need fancy tools. You just, like, get a piece of scrap metal and... Oh, dear. Hey, Hopio. What you doing? Oh, my goodness. What else have I seen on YouTube? Hello? You want to come up? You want to come up and say hello? No. He doesn't want to. I've annoyed him. I've scared him off. Oh my god. Oh no. Yeah, I don't know. I've been watching, there's like these little mini documentaries on disasters and why they happen. For a moment I didn't know if you meant shipping as in boats or shipping as in matching two characters into a fictional relationship. You're talking about me, though. If I'm talking about shipping, I'm talking about boats, or, you know, getting a package from somewhere. I know what shipping is in that relationship thing, but have you ever tried to pick a lock? No. I just watch Lock-Picking Lawyer and go, oh, so that's how a lock works. And, you know, they explains how the different pins work, but I haven't actually bothered to try any of it. I know, but it threw me off. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've seen some of that artwork, the shipping artwork, come up, and there's quite a few with Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters. Oh dear. Yeah, no, I haven't tried to pick a lock, because if you do it badly, you can break it, so I don't really have any practice locks. It's just kind of interesting to look at, and I don't have any particular reason to pick a lock, so yeah, I'm happy to just watch. What else is happening? I know I keep forgetting to, like, I was saying I was going to dress up for YouTube videos and stuff, but I just can't be bothered. By the time I remembered it was a thing I wanted to do, it's already too late. So instead we just have this shirt, lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Instead of getting a bit scrunched over my boob there. Yeah, walking around the neighbourhood with this shirt on, seeing a few people go, I guess that's kind of fun, living in a conservative area, but it would be more fun if I had, like, you know, my cyber wig or something. Just, yeah, dressing up is a bit of effort, and, you know, taking my dog for a walk gets a bit sweaty. It's getting hot around here. Hoping some more of my cucumber seeds will grow. I just planted a few more yesterday. Oh god, I've got so much work to do out in the garden, and so I'm sort of like, you know, if I can get a little bit ahead of, like, you know, if I can make enough YouTube videos and get ahead of schedule, I'll have a bit more time to sit around and play with my plants. There's the azaleas, though, they're still flowering, and I want to chop them back hard, but they're still flowering, and Mum likes looking at the flowers, so haven't got around to that yet. But there's just, oh my god, I've got too many plants. Even after, like, some of the veggies finished from last year, there's still so much. And then I've got to plant the tomatoes at some point, but the tomatoes I've currently got that have just randomly popped up around the place, they're not growing that well at the moment. So were you a comic book superhero fan? Hey, are you changing your picture, or do you just have, like, heaps of accounts? It's sort of confusing to look at. Cause yeah, you're, or maybe that's just, no, it's happening on the other screen as well. Oh, I guess it's all the same, but yeah, I don't know why the different pictures popping up in the chat window. What else is going on? I don't really know what to talk about. So throw something at me. But yeah, no, I did read a bit of manga, the Japanese, you know, translated manga. Random useless knowledge. I think any of us who spend a lot of time on YouTube end up with random useless knowledge. I know that with, like, Moon Knight, that's based on a comic, and they changed a few things from that, and some people were a little bit frustrated with it, because, like, I think one of his personas was, like, super rich or something, and they just made him not super rich. But I think for me, as an outsider, I prefer that the change they made, so that he's just, like, a dude trying to get by, instead of some, yeah, rich fuck, because it's hard to care about rich fucks, and, you know, it just makes it a bit more believable, realistic in a way, instead of, yeah, having these really wild different things going on. I don't know. The whole comic book universe, I mean, you've already got your rich fucks with Batman and Iron Man. Do you really need more? I just think that, like, with all this comic book stuff, do they all have to exist within the same universe? Because from what I understand, like, you know, I watch a bit of instead of watching the movies, I watch some of the commentary channels, just because they keep popping up in my thing. And so it sounds like a lot of the comic book things, like, they try and put all of them into the same universe, and then it creates all these different conflicts, because there's always, like, different secret societies who all have some major influence on things, but they all exist in the same universe, and, like, of course you're going to, you're going to get things, inconsistent plot holes and illogical stuff going on. I can turn it off if you want. Do you mean, like, the changing picture? I just don't know how you're doing it, or are you just manually changing it, or do you have a thing that changes the pictures? But yeah, no. I guess I just question, why does everything need to be in the same universe? I know if they want to do crossovers with characters, but you could just, I don't know. Everyone is talking about Chainsaw Man. Have you seen it yet? I don't even know what that is. I'm not exactly in tune with, like, what's hip and happening. So I haven't even heard of that Chainsaw Man. I guess I could just, like, quickly Chainsaw Man. Oh, manga series. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know. The manga that I have, I've got, like, the whole of Vampire Knight. Nice with a K. I think I've got all of Death Note. I've got some of, like, I've got I think the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And then there's a couple others. Let me have a look. Oh, okay, yeah. There's just some that I got and then didn't end up reading the rest of them. It's a little bit hard to get them. Like, I used to get them from Kinokuniya, but sometimes they just wouldn't have them, and I haven't been in a long time and haven't really been that interested in mangas. I guess because, like, you know, some of them will sound like they're gonna be good, and then I start reading it and I'm just like, shit, eh. But yeah, no, Vampire Knight was surprisingly good. Like, it has a bit of a romance thing in it, but it turns into something actually interesting. Death Note, yeah, was fun, but, you know, the ending was foreshadowed at the beginning, so, you know, if anyone was surprised by the ending, I don't know what they were thinking. It's more fun when they get to interact with someone else. Huh? There's only so much that can be expressed from the wall? Wait, I'm confused. What am I talking about? I don't know what I've gotten confused about whatever you're referencing. Yeah, anyway, so manga, that's something I haven't really thought about in a long time. But yeah, I really did fall out of the whole fiction thing for a while. I still have these books that I bought, you know, a little while ago. I think I was in a particular mood when I bought them, but that was a few weeks back and I haven't even touched them. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe, like, so I guess, like, spending more time doing YouTube stuff is taking time away from other things I could be doing. But on the other hand, I'm still doing this thing where I'll be really tired and not feel like I can do anything. So instead of taking a nap, I'll just be like, yeah, watching YouTube, playing Spider Solitaire off to the side. Oh, new match is here, what? It's not yet, though. I didn't know he was already going to talk about stuff. That's pretty funny. I didn't expect that to... Oh, hang on. I want to get an incognito window so I can see what you guys are seeing when that comes up. It should just say that nothing's there yet. Dear oh dear, little bot, but you couldn't answer my, like, commands thing? Yeah, okay, but it's still... Yeah, pink spinning circle. I've got a green spinning circle. Cool. So, ignore the bot. The bot doesn't know what it's talking about. There isn't merch yet, but it's good to know that, like, it will eventually work. I think he's on a timer to, like, talk about it every... I don't know, how long have we been going? I think every half hour he's gonna rant about merch that doesn't exist yet. So, bear with him. Oh my god, that's amazing. And yeah, the commands thing is still not working. I've reported that issue to them, so I will just... should be... it should be this. So if you want to see the commands, you can give him, but there's not really much going on. So, okay, it's added the merch one. Cool. I think I wonder if there's a way that I can actually edit these commands. I wonder if I can do that now, or if that's going to screw up things with the stream. Because, so, chatbot, chat commands, can I edit? Can I edit? No. It's just not adding the variable that has my username. Channel alias. Where does it even say that? Control F. Maybe I could make like a custom one and fix their problems because it doesn't work yet. You talk to a wall, we are the wall. Oh, okay. I guess, like, you know, talking to a camera is its own thing. So, commands, how do I edit this, seeing as it's not working? Dear, oh dear. Well, I will figure out some of that stuff later. because clearly it's not working yet. It's fun when there is others to watch them talk, even when we can't express ourselves with text. Well, you can write stuff. I'm here. But you can talk to each other as well. I think the thing's not really telling me accurately how many people are watching, because, yeah. Oh, I'll answer those questions later. Yeah, so I'm going to put like I said before at the start of the stream, I'm going to put a discount on the merch until the end of November. Keeping in mind that I'm in Sydney time, so when I say the end of November, if you wait until the actual end of November, I might have already changed it because Sydney is ahead of most of the rest of the world, but depends a bit on when I'm awake and when I actually do it. So if you want a shirt, better to get it earlier than when the price goes up. And actually, I want to make a video about sales, because like there's some of those companies that just constantly have a sale and it annoys the crap out of me. I'm not going to do things like that. When I say it's going to be a sale, it's going to be a thing that doesn't happen very often. So yeah, we'll do like a launch sale. That would be kind of fun. And then once I've got that, I'm not sure what I should do. Whether I should work on getting more designs put on the shirt, or whether I should, because at the moment, whether I should work on the other company, because at the moment this shirt is coming from Stream Elements. They've got their own printing sort of setup. It's actually really soft, which is kind of fun. Oh, hello. What's in the clothing range, or is it just shirts? At the moment, with Stream Elements, so there's not a whole lot. There's, you know, this unisex shirt. I'm getting also the women's shirt. And, oh my god, how do I turn him off? Hang on, let me see if I can turn off the bot talking about his merch, because he's preempted things. Chatbot, chat commands, let's turn off merch. How do I turn off merch? Oh no, maybe I have to go into the merch settings. Oh dear, I'm sorry. I'll get back to talking about the actual thing in a sec. Let me just... chatbot. How do I customize? Oh no, he's taking me to a different thing. Oh, it's in custom commands. Okay, I'll just turn him off and hopefully he'll stop going on about merch. Because that's distracting. Okay, I think he's shut up. Cool. And we'll turn him back on for Thursday. Did I ever watch Breaking Bad? Oh, so, no, I just talked about Breaking Bad before, talking about Dexter, because, like, the only Breaking Bad I've seen has been when I've been, like, walking on other people, by, you know, whether my ex was watching it when I was living with him, or whether my parents started watching it. I think my parents were looking for something to watch, and I was like, have you seen this? Because Mum was watching some things about, you know, drug dealers and stuff, and I was like, here's the thing, I don't know if it's good, but people say it is. Yeah, so I've only seen bits and pieces, and I've seen the last half hour, and, yeah, the last half hour, the season final, that was fun. That was good to watch after watching how disappointingly Dexter ended back then, season 8, gosh. Yeah, so it was a fun finale, even though I didn't really know much about the rest of the show, just like the basic idea. I'm not interested in watching it, though. You know, I've seen bits and pieces, it's just not the show for me. Anyway, back to the merch. Now that we've shut the bot up. So the question, what's in the clothing range, or is it just shirts? At the moment with Stream Elements, oh, I think I got rid of my graphic, but we've got the men's / unisex shirt, women's shirt, I'm getting one. There's like a tank top, there's a sweater, and there's a hoodie. All of them have this on the front, except the hoodie has it on the back, because the hoodie has like this pocket section, and so if I was going to put it on, it would have to be smaller. So I put it on the back, and so when you're walking around with the hoodie, it's just going to have this face staring out at everyone behind you. So, but that's Stream Elements, and they do have a few other things, but their range is a bit more limited, and I think those were all the ones that worked with this, because it has to be a black background, and some of the things they just don't have, and printing it with like a black box, not ideal. Um, cool. Hey, I timed it to match up with the thing. So you're going to release a video of you modeling the merch. So on Thursday, at the same time, 4 p.m. Sydney time on Thursday, I'll do a launch. So I'll get the shop properly set up, it'll open, and I'll wear this on Thursday. But this is the only one I've got at the moment. I think they must print this somewhere in Australia. They've got printing companies all over the place, and so this one must have been printed in Australia, but I think the women's one must be being printed overseas because that's going to come at the end of the month. So I won't have it on Thursday, but I'll wear this one. And yeah, but so what I'm not sure about is whether I should work on getting more of my designs onto shirts, because I do have other artwork that I think will work all right, or if I should get my spread shop opened. Because spread shop, so the Stream Elements one works with the stream. So if you buy one while I'm streaming, it'll come up with the alert and put your name on it and all that. But it doesn't connect in with YouTube. You know, they have, some of the channels have a little bar underneath that shows the merch. To do that, I have to use spread shop, which is what the votes eventually came in between that or Spring, which used to be Teespring. You guys said spread shop, so if I want that, I'll go through spread shop. Thing is, they've got heaps more products. So yeah, we can put it on more different things, but it's a bit more complicated. And so I'm just like looking at it going, oh my god, I gotta figure all this out. So I can do that, but I guess it depends what you guys prefer, whether you prefer more designs or, you know, the fancier, more different things and more different products. And they had a whole bunch of different colors. Not everything that I do is gonna work on everything, but yeah, so that is a thing that I'm thinking about, is which thing do I prioritize. I probably won't have... Oh my god, the little thing happened again. I already turned you off. Stream Elements thingy. Unless the timer is a separate command. Okay, I'll try and turn this one off, and maybe he'll finally shut up. Oh dear. Yeah, so I don't think I'll get any more designs like all ready to go before the end of the year or before Christmas. But in terms of, yeah, what do I work on for next year? So next year I reckon I'll try and put more of my stuff on t-shirts, because I think that's kind of fun. Like, yeah, Tea Turtle is cool, but I want my own designs, you know? And it's taken me so long to finally get that one sorted out, and now I know how to do it if I have a more complicated design. I've learned the graphic design to do it. Cool. But yeah, the spread shop one does look a bit more flexible, and I can also tie that one into my website, I think, using like WooCommerce or some plugin. So yeah, it's a shame that Stream Elements isn't more flexible, but yeah, spread shop is the other way to do it. And so, I don't know. I guess once I get spread shop like figured out, it should be faster to do things. But oh my god, things are really loud. Can you just give me a sec? I'm gonna close some doors. Oh dear, sorry. My little brother, you know, the disabled one, he's just yelling. I think he's watching YouTube and he's just yelling about whatever. Probably trains or I don't know what else he's watching. He's just having a bit too much fun and it was so distracting. I don't know if you can hear it coming through. Oh dear. Anyway, so yeah, no, oh, yeah, and Spreadshop. When I was looking through all the products, like, you know, it would be nice to launch both shops at the same time, but I was looking at it, and you can get, like, they actually have little teddies that you can get that are wearing a mini version of my shirt, and I'm just looking at it going, wow. And so, I don't know, I'm kind of tempted to make that available. If people want to buy a teddy wearing one of my shirts, I'm just like, that's the weirdest, like, most random thing I didn't expect to see on that. And then I think both shops you can get things printed on an apron, and I'm just like, who's gonna wear my thing on an apron? But, you know, I guess it doesn't cost me anything to set that up, so if people want my designs on an apron, let me know and I'll make it happen. That would be highly random to buy. I know, right? And like, so random just to come up with the idea, like, hey, what products can we offer people to do custom printing on? I know, a little teddy wearing a shirt, and I think they've got like a little doggo as well. A scary Care Bear. Well, it's a thing nowadays. Oh gosh, everything's a thing nowadays. Like, just the things that you can get produced. And I've seen like, there's a thing where people can get plushies made, like big channels, because obviously it takes a bit to design it, but like that's a thing too. And theoretically, if I wanted to, I could probably hit up like some Chinese company to make like little plushies if I wanted to. If I don't know what, but theoretically I could. Although, you know, China's gotten a bit weird since COVID, so maybe that's not exactly viable. But that kind of thing is possible, is you can just like probably pay a bit of money to do it, but you can get samples made of products and someone will make it for you, and it's just like, what a world we live in now. Gosh. But yeah, I think getting t-shirts and those kinds of things done, that's my first step. I'll think about other things later, but yeah. And things that I just don't have to spend my own money on, that's amazing, because like back in the day you'd have to order so many different shirts. My dad actually used to work at a screen printing business. He and my uncle set it up way back, and so when I was a kid I used to go to the factory and we'd see all the screen printing machines going on, and so it's kind of fun that I've come back around to making shirts, but with a different process, because obviously that's not screen printed, that's I think direct to garment printing probably. I'm in the US, so it's just another day. Oh my gosh. America freaks me out. But also, like, you know, when I went there, I was not impressed by the food. American ideas of food are just not how I see food, and I'm a bit picky, so yeah. Philly. Like, Philadelphia? I'm not hugely, like, up to speed with American things. But just, yeah, America, oh gosh, and America, like, culturally is so different. Because there's so many arguments about everything, and everyone's really passionate about everything. Yes, okay. Yeah, just, like, even when I went to America, like, I remember, watching Deal or No Deal. I don't know if that's still a thing, but, you know, we had Deal or No Deal in Australia, and the way that people do things is they spend a lot of time thinking about whether or not they're going to take the deal, and, you know, being a bit conservative sometimes, and, like, being thoughtful and being like, okay, I'm going to take the deal, or nah, I'm not going to take the deal. But then I saw it in America, and the energy and the over-the-topness of it, they're like, no deal, or I'm going to take the deal, like that cultural difference just in the reality TV shows is just like, because we do have more dramatic reality shows these days. I think like, what are the tacky ones people watch, like Married at First Sight, Big Brother, that kind of stuff, and you do get some characters on that, but that's kind of like seemed like the default in America, like Deal or No Deal, you're trying to work things out in your mind. It's not that normal, that reality show where everyone's at each other. It's like you're actually trying to think about the odds of you winning or not winning. And so like the Aussies were kind of like actually going through the thought process, but the Americans were like riling up the crowd and being like, yeah, let's take the deal. It's just, we're all crazy. So it's no crazy. Oh my gosh. Married at First Sight just sounds like an arranged marriage. Yeah, let me just... Danish origin. Yeah, no, Married at First Sight. So I think maybe the original Danish version, I don't know what the big Ed is, but the original version, I don't know if this is true, but they actually got married at first sight, but I think in Australia, like legally, you can't really do that. So they get married, but they're not really married, and it's like I don't know, like it's been imported from, you know, Denmark or whatever, and the Australian version, originally the first version of it was not too bad. My mum watched it, and they have like some psychologists, I don't know if they're real psychologists, matching people based on personality and stuff. And it's like, yeah, sure. But I think in the original, maybe they actually did try to do that, but what it's turned into, we do have Farmer Wants a Wife or something. I don't know, you know, the title might be slightly different, but yeah, we do have something like that. And I think, like, oh gosh, there was something that came up in my memories the other day, because so with the farmer thing, I help admin a few music groups on Facebook, and so I actually got approached by like one of the producers, or not producers, but like, I don't know, talent scout or something, saying like, you know, we've got a farmer who's a musician looking for a musician, can you post this on some music pages? Turns out they meant the groups that I help admin, which that doesn't fit into, like, it's either a gig or you're looking for a band member. That doesn't fit. But they were asking me to put this in these groups to try and find like some chick musician for, and I'm just like, really? And, you know, did you not look at my profile and see that I'm a bit of a metalhead nutcase who's not going to go for that? But anyway, Australian horror movies, top 3. I don't really know horror movies, but I did do some voice work for one, and I don't know if they used my voice, but I'll let you know if that one, I think it already came out and it's now going on DVD, but I don't know if actually they used my voice and whether I got a credit in it. I got paid for it. Yeah, so if that comes out, I'll let you know, but so far, no one's actually told me anything I think I've been forgotten about, so we'll see. Looking to marry a band. I gotta say, like, being in a band is like being in a way too big relationship sometimes, but anyway, no, with the Married at First Sight thing, so yeah, with the original Australian version, I think they did try and set people up to match psychologically and in personality wise, and so my mum was into that, and because she was watching it, I walk in on it a lot, and I'm just like, oh my god. But it wasn't too bad then, but then as the show got popular and they're like, we can milk this, I think they started matching people more on drama, and then I've read about some of the behind the scenes stuff, and it sounds so shady what they've done to like make things more dramatic than they would be naturally, and some of the ways that they treated the people on the show sounded really terrible. So I was more into soap opera, the Buffy, the Angle, Supernatural. But like, you know, even if something can be inspired by comic books, but that doesn't mean you're a comic book kid just because you're into something that was vaguely inspired by comics. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like how I can be a metalhead without being into blues and stuff, and, you know, the music that came beforehand. You know, being a metalhead doesn't mean I'm a blues person. You know, so even if something came from a comic book, being into something that came later doesn't mean you're a comic book person. You have to actually read the comic books to be a comic book person, is how I feel anyway. Yeah, how did we get onto the topic of... Oh, because America? Oh dear. Yeah, America. Gosh. And there's another midterm elections in America. You guys have way too many elections. It's just like constant elections there. Oh gosh. We've got I think we've got a state election coming up soon. When is that? Let me have a look. I'm in New South Wales. New South Wales election. Oh, that's next year. Cool. I don't have to worry about that for a little while longer. They see us as one of them. Well, that's their problem. From their side of the wall, even if you can't see this side. On the 8th. On the 8th? What, is that tomorrow? Or maybe... Usually we just group our elections together. Yeah, so Australia, I've heard people describe Australia as being over-governed, mostly from Dad. But so we have federal government, state government, and local government. And usually the local elections are like tacked onto one of the others, unless something gets a bit wonky, which it has done in the past. I think the federal elections are on a 3-year cycle, and I think the state elections are on a 4-year cycle. And I can't remember about the local ones. I just turn up, I vote, and I leave. Yeah, no, because we've got compulsory voting here, which I think is a good idea. I think it stops things getting extreme, like in America, where special interest groups can run the whole narrative, while your average Joe is like, "Why is this so terrible?" It's because you didn't vote. Not enough of you voted to have things go more to the center. We have local, national, and European elections. Oh God, yeah. Um. Oh dear. Just thinking about like the EU thing, because I don't really understand a whole lot about the EU, but thinking about it. Local elections also determine other things like regional government. Yeah, well, so we have like local councils. So my council area has an election. And like whoever I vote for doesn't really have much of an impact here. Just try not to vote for the craziest people, but it's pretty conservative. The same kinds of people run. State elections, that's, New South Wales government. And then federal elections, obviously, all that stuff. I don't really pay attention until I have to vote, though. People in the US don't want to fix stuff. Oh, dear. Well, it's so polarized, And I guess with the whole dramatic culture as well, people get really into their politics. They care more about the state here than the whole. Yeah, I have heard that. I've heard that the state is more important in America. I guess, like, the division of government and what runs what, that might be more significant there. But we do have, like, we've got our own states with different things going on, and we know there needs to be a place for every monster. Oh, dear. Oh, we kill each other. Yeah, right. I guess, it is kind of interesting, because America's so polarized. I guess if you can live in your different states, maybe that's one way to solve it. We don't really have that issue here, because, most Aussies are a bit more to the center. I think we're slightly, like, center conservative, though. Like, there is a left-leaning thing. I don't know. Center-ish. I guess it depends, because, like, center is sort of relative, depending on, what the rest of your society is like. Most of the time, then it's when people don't know how or where to go. Okay. I heard a lot of people were moving to Texas, running away from California. Gosh. Yeah, so the next state election, I think, will be interesting because, we had Gladys, and then she had a scandal, and she stepped down, is probably having a great life, not worrying about all the shit that's going on there. But so we've got this other dude, Perrottet, and he's quite young for a premier, and he always has this deer-in-the-headlights defensive look, like he doesn't really have that leadership vibe, whereas Gladys, during the pandemic, is when she was, most active, and she's like, you do this. This is the thing that you guys are doing. And we're all like, okay. But then this guy, it's sort of like he'll say something and it's just always this defensive deer in the headlights. And like he often has his eyes, sort of open a bit wider, and just doesn't strike me as convincing leadership. I'm sure he's like, he's probably smarter than he seems on TV, because you'd have to be to get that far. But I'm just like, ew. And then the guy on the opposition, he getting into his position, there was a bit of a scandal within his party, but he's been a bit more reasonable. Like, instead of just noping everything the government does, he's had a bit more constructive stuff to say, and, sometimes agrees with stuff that are good ideas. And so kind of going to be interesting to see what happens. What am I up to? Have you ever punched a kangaroo? Look, so we like to say a lot of stuff as Aussies. We like to say stuff to foreigners just to mess with you. So, there aren't actually kangaroos where I live. I've seen kangaroos if you go out a bit more into the bush, but not around here. We've got bush turkeys instead. The last few years they've really exploded, so there's just bush turkeys everywhere. And they dig up a lot of stuff, and they fly really awkwardly, and my dog likes to chase them, even though they're bigger than him. And they run away because they're cowardly. But we don't have kangaroos where I live, we don't have koalas where I live. Kookaburras sometimes. But yeah, so don't get close to kangaroos. And when I have been around them, they're often in the distance. And you don't want to get up to a kangaroo too close because they can kick you pretty hard. And a lot of tourists, like there's this spot where people were feeding them carrots and they love carrots, but they've got a bit too much sugar. Australia's a very barren kind of landscape. Like a lot of the native plants aren't that nutritious. So when you give them something like a carrot, it's actually really bad for them because it has too much stuff in it. And so all these tourists were getting close to the kangaroos, trying to feed them, making them tame, and then because the kangaroos love carrots so much, they started attacking the tourists and people got quite injured. So yeah, you don't want to pick a fight with a kangaroo. I know there are like some viral things, you know, that happen, but it's not a common thing, and mostly you should just leave them alone. That is the fight for the new frontier, people moving to Texas. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't know. Somehow you guys have really different states. Have you ever seen a cane spider? I don't know what that is. There's plenty of spiders around. Do they have them where you are? I'm not sure what you're referring to. But there's plenty of spiders in the garden at the moment because it's been raining a lot. Carrots are like crack cocaine to a kangaroo. Oh dear. I guess you could see them like like that. Like catnip or something. Oh dear. Yeah, there's a lot of spiders out at the moment because there's been so much rain for the past 3 years. You know, we had that big bushfire and then since then it's just been rain. But I don't really knock down the spider webs unless I have to because I want them to catch the mosquitoes so the mosquitoes don't bite me. And yeah, don't get near the spiders because there are a lot that will bite you and it won't be a good time. I think Peppa Pig, there was an episode talking about like how spiders are our friends, but of course Peppa Pig I think is British, so I don't know what British spiders are like, but it sounds like they're pretty wimpy, and for a while people got that episode banned in Australia for a while because they didn't want kids thinking that spiders were okay to be around because spiders here are dangerous. Everything in Australia wants to kill you, or at least we like to hype that up for the tourists. Yeah, we'll happily mess with you and mess with like reporters as well. That's our idea of having fun. There's that whole like larrikin culture, which is about just having fun, making jokes and all that. So yeah, if we can screw with you, we will. We'll come up with some crazy story, and then, you know, everyone sort of catches on and everyone will go along with it without having even you know, pre-planned it. If someone starts messing with you, the rest of us will just go along with it. So when you're in Australia, if someone tells you something and it sounds a bit like, maybe don't believe that statistic. Yeah, have a bit of fun. Like there was that, I think, maybe it was back during the bushfires, and you know, there was a lot of koala rescue going on, and there was that British reporter, and they told her she was holding a drop bear and got her in all this armor. She was actually freaked out. That was a lot of fun. We like doing that to people. We're just trying to see what is normal and in common. I don't understand the comments. But yeah, no. But you do have to watch out for like a real drop bear, you know. If someone's pretending a koala is a drop bear, but, you know, it's important to know the difference because you could get into a bit of trouble. But, yeah, no, we like to mess with people. Oh, gosh. But there are, like, you know, some little small things as well to watch out for. I know it's really the spiders, and there's a few snakes that are pretty bad. What else? There's, like, you know, we get some of those jellyfish. Don't pee on a jellyfish sting. That's a myth. You should use vinegar. There's some myths around, yeah, what, blue bottles. I haven't seen any in a while, but then again, I haven't been to the beach for a very long time. Spiders freak me out, yeah. Yeah, and especially here, there are some pretty nasty ones, although I think where I live, they're not too bad. When I was younger, I was a lot more paranoid, and, you know, checking my shoes, making sure there's nothing in my shoes, but where I am, doesn't seem to be an issue, so I haven't, you know, put my foot into a shoe and been bitten by a spider yet. Cross fingers. Yeah, we don't really get snakes where I am. Yeah, I live in a pretty safe area, I guess. But when you go more into the bush, there's a lot that you have to worry about. And also, at the studio, there was a blue tongue lizard. What kind of spiders are there? Well, like, for example, the one we all learn about as kids is, the redback spider. I think they're actually quite small, but especially the female is quite dangerous. So yeah, even if they're small. And then there's like the daddy long legs. I think there's a few different spiders under that name, and I don't even know if it's truly a spider, but, you know, we used to get them around here. Just subscribed? Cool. I should get a notification if you've done that, but it hasn't come through yet. That's okay. Sometimes stream elements might not be working. But yeah, so spiders, funnel webs, the one that comes around a lot, huntsmen. We get them in the house sometimes. Huntsmen, though, they're big and scary and hairy, but they're harmless. So sometimes it's like the big spiders you don't have to worry about so much. Usually it's the small ones you've got to watch out for. Yeah, but just in case, don't go poking spiders. Didn't you just turn off that bot for being annoying? No, I just turned off the merch thing. He should still talk about, he'll probably get this wrong. Come on, bot, you can do it. Here we go, see, but he's got it wrong. The actual address should be... no, I can't see it. Copy that. Bump. Here we go. Yay! That thing worked. So the bot's still working, just I turned off the merch thing and hopefully that works. I lived in Hawaii for 10 years and never saw a cane spider. So one day I was in a parking lot and saw in the dark behind the car what I thought was a big rat. Oh gosh. Yeah, cane spider. Maybe I should look that up so I know what you're talking about. Cane spider. Oh, okay, it looks kind of like a... Oh, is that a huntsman? Is that the same thing? Because Google is giving me huntsman. So yeah, they're quite big. I don't know. Someone's just messaging me. Getting through all this Disney Plus stuff is going to take considerably longer than I thought. I'm streaming right now and I just read out your message. LOL. Oh dear. I'm a guy, so I was like, I'm going to chuck out that rat, and it's scary, so I put my hands up like I had a gun, and so that as an attack to it, and it charged me there. Fast, scary. Yeah, no, if it's the same as a huntsman, maybe it's like a related spider, I don't know, that's just what Google's giving me, but yeah, huntsmen, they're harmless. Ah! Oh, hey, it came through! And we've got the... Yay! Thanks for subscribing. Oh, and it says that the bot has said it. That's an interesting username. Didn't you have a roommate, huntsman? Yeah, there was one that was like hanging around here for a bit, but it's gone. And then there's some that have died, and then there's some, you know, my brother would like catch them with a container and take them outside. I can't have a spider living in here all the time because I've got one friend who is like very spider phobic, and so she wouldn't come over if it was hanging around. That's that like one friend that I regularly hang out with. By regularly, I mean not very often because she's studying. Hello, you come back. Hey, Hopi. Yeah, hello. He couldn't afford rent anymore, so it had to move. That's right. I asked a friend who was born there why. I had never seen one before, and he told me they don't like us, so they give us space. You'll find that with a lot of, you know, spiders and snakes. So when you're bushwalking, one of the advice is to make noise so that those kinds of creatures know you're coming and they can get out of the way. A lot of the snakes, there are some aggressive snakes, but most of them will just run away if you, if you make noise and they hear the vibrations and they're like, I'm out of here. Right, they have the brown snake there. Yeah, that one's pretty bad. It blew my mind that it was scared of me. Yeah, a lot of these, like, a lot of scary animals are scared of us. I'm scared of the unknown, and that's another reason not to feed wild animals, because then they get too used to you and can attack. We have dingoes, and sometimes when tourists feed them too much, they come too close, and then you get attacked, which is not fun. So, for safety, better not to feed the wild animals. Just look at them from a distance. I hope he's being a bit moody behind me. Oh my god. Oh wow, look at the time. So I've got about 20 minutes left. So keep coming with questions. Did my friend say anything? No, he hasn't even seen my message. Well. Yeah, no, a lot of animals will be scared. And like even some of the bigger ones, you know, if you really get stuck, sometimes you can scare them off, but it depends a little bit on how defensive they're being. And running away is probably your best bet. But sometimes you can scare off larger animals as well. You know, they'll be all threatening and then you come back at them and they'll be like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Spiders have no muscles, just hydraulic blood. How weird is that? There's a lot of weird creatures. I don't really know how spiders work, but yeah, there's a lot of weird things out there. Like octopus. Octopuses, they're weird. And like, you know, under the sea is kind of like an alien landscape, especially really, really deep down. But yeah, no, with the creatures being scared of you, it also applies to like, I can't remember who I was talking to, but yeah, so can you imagine if praying mantis was 4 feet? Have you seen that Buffy episode with the praying mantis? Because that's what that makes me think of. I used to cut wood with my cousin for wood for people who could not do it themselves. Spiders all over me. I get spiders on me at work, working in bonsai. I guess that's not quite the same as cutting down trees, but I have no idea how big 4 feet is. Well, here is my 1 feet, right? But people have different size feet, so I've only got 2 feet, obviously. So like the size of a small child, maybe. Oh dear. But yeah, no, on the topic of scaring things off, as a self-defense thing, you know, this is the sort of thing that they taught in the girls' school. We did the whole, like, eyes, nose, throat, and groin, foot, yeah. And then there's another one, but we didn't really learn that. No, we had this cop come to school and tell us about self-defense stuff, and I think this is back when, you know, they're like saying when you go to a party and boys are like this and blah, blah, blah. Which, of course, never really became a problem for me because I didn't go to parties and didn't drink and still don't drink. So, you know, it's a bit like how when you're a kid you think that quicksand is going to be a part of your life and then it's not. But, yeah, no. The thing about with defense, so if some dude comes at me, he sees me as a small female, and so if I, you know, fight back, that's not what he was expecting me to do, and he'll freak out. Whereas if you're a dude, especially a big dude, and someone comes at you, good luck, because they came into it knowing that you're big, and that you can fight back, and they still came at you, which means they are really coming at you, as opposed to someone attacking me, small female, seemingly helpless, not knowing that I'm a black belt. Not that I've practiced much in the past 10 years, but technically I'm a black belt. Where am I up to? 4 feet, and moving logs to a big tree, let them crawl off me. The knees, kick them in the knees. If it's a dude, you could just kick them in the groin though, and that solves most of your problems. But I just looked at it like this is who I am today. Yeah, we don't really do firewood around here. We did. I live in a house that's old enough to have like old fireplaces, but they're not used. I think they're all blocked off these days. We just use regular heaters, you know, electric heaters and things. Or there's still some gas ones around, but we don't use them anymore. 12 inches or 38.4 centimeters is a foot. Right. Okay. Yeah. And that is a pretty big mantis, but not as big as the one in Buffy. That's like the first season of Buffy had some really good stuff going on in it. I think I lost interest later on. Best advice for self-defense is running away if possible. Fighting back is good, especially if you're trained, like you said, but running away is preferable. Well, yeah, it depends on the situation. Like, if someone's already grabbed you, fighting back and kicking and screaming is exactly what you should do, rather than being passive, because that's what they were hoping for. If they picked out, you know, small female, seemingly helpless, they want you to just be so scared that you're passive. But if you fight back, and it's sort of this whole thing about, like, you know, when you've got your predators, your big cats and whatever, they tend to go for the weakest member of the flock. So they're not expecting you to fight back. And, yeah, so if you have been caught up, yeah, fighting back will often throw a lot of them off, and then they'll be like, oh shit, this isn't what I bargained for, and get out of there, especially if you're making noise and attracting attention. But yeah, no, getting away, that was a thing when I was studying martial arts, is like, you know, you only fight when you have to. Trying to avoid the conflict in the first place and running away and having restraint, that's all important. Just the 2 feet. Yeah. Yeah, that's a big mantis as well, but yeah. Praying mantis the size of a small child. Speaking of small children, I'm a little bit hungry. That's me and my brain going into like crazy places. Oh dear. No, I've probably been watching too much Dexter, and making those kinds of jokes is not what I do as much these days, but there it goes. Yeah. What is the quote? Like, so from BBC's Jekyll series, the quote is something like, how he loves children because snack-sized people always leave you wanting more. I think that's one of the funniest quotes from that series. Unfortunately, it was written by Moffat, though, and we all know how he screwed up Doctor Who, and his sense of continuity sucks. And Mum and Dad were watching a different series by Moffat, like something newer, and Mum lost interest quickly, and I think Dad finally got the shits too. The guy, he's good at coming up with ideas, but he's terrible at execution, terrible at plot holes, you know, the continuity thing, and he just gets out of hand. So I don't think I can even watch the Jekyll series anymore, just because I keep seeing his fingerprints all through the terrible writing, and like, it started off good, but then yeah, it just got to this really crazy Doctor Who-ish place, and it's like, gosh, Moffat. But then Chibnall was so much worse. I've had a guy come at me with a knife. Yeah, fortunately I haven't been in that situation. We did do some knife training, you know, how to block knife attacks, but it's a risky kind of thing. Better to just get the hell away than use those blocks. Gosh, but yeah, that was a long time ago. I think like wow, what did you do? Yeah, feel free to tell the story in the chat. It'll come up on the screen as well, just in case something happens to the chat. A bad drug problem in the US. Oh, yeah, I've definitely heard that. What do they say? Flee a knife, charge a gun? I haven't heard that, but there's not too many guns in Australia, fortunately. So I don't need to worry about that. I've been to a shooting range, and I was actually pretty good at it. But, yeah, no. Things are a lot safer here. I don't care what Americans say about gun control. It works here. I know the situation in the US and the culture there is different, so the same sort of thing we did probably isn't going to work. But yeah, the way that it was done here worked out nicely, and yeah, so we don't have to worry about guns so much. It's mostly like, yeah, criminals can still get their hands on guns, but they mostly just shoot each other. So, you know, the main concern there is collateral damage, you know, people's houses, like in the background of a shooting. That's where the most trouble is. In terms of you know, regular people, mostly doesn't affect regular people, I think. I keep a shoehorn tucked in my backpack. First glance, it looks like a machete. Search up Kensington Avenue, and I don't even know how to pronounce that. I had a thought and I've forgotten it. Oh, okay, so like the closest I've come to having any kind of like bad confrontation, I was walking with a friend, and there was this guy who, like, I don't know, had some kind of an issue, and yeah, he pushed my friend, because my friend was a dude, and so he pushed him, and then, you know, after a while we got away, but then he, you know, I took down the guy's number plate, and I think the guy must have seen as we were walking down some stairs, because he followed us and pushed my friend over this, like, little rope fence kind of thing, and it was kind of this weird thing, because I think despite this guy clearly being a nut, you know, just attacking us minding our own business, he didn't attack me, he attacked my friend who was male. And so what I think is, despite how crazy he was, he still had this idea that you don't hit women, and so he went for my friend instead. And it was just the most bizarre situation. But we found, like, there was a group of people down at the bottom of the steps, so we just sort of hung with them until the guy left. And reported it to the cops, and it turns out the number plate was probably registered to his mum or something, so, you know, it's kind of sad, but, yeah, that's probably the most dramatic thing I've been involved in. It's a long story, it's hard to tell in text. If I did YouTube, I would just ramble like she does, but I would not sound as nice. Oh, yeah, that's what I do, I ramble. Sometimes I don't sound so nice, though, like, you know, when I do the growling, screaming kind of stuff. Oh, dear. Well, let's see. I've got about 10 minutes left to keep rambling, so keep coming at me with random talking topics. Wednesday? Yeah, I'll probably just play a video game. Probably I'll just I'll stick to Age of Mythology, and we'll go for the hard level and see how I go. At some point I am going to die, and it's going to be a bit embarrassing, but yeah. No, I think, like, there might have been a point where I got a little bit better at the game, but still too passive, and, like, you know, where my brain wants to put resources is not where the best strategy is. So, yeah. I think also, like, you know, some of the characters that I like the little Anubis dog thing, like, I want them because I like them, not necessarily because the strategy is good. I think that was my problem when I used to play Magic the Gathering as well, because, like, there are some combos that are just hilarious, but they're almost impossible to pull off, and so all the people would just look up what the pro players were using in their decks, and just use that, and they win a lot, but they're so boring. Same thing when I played Pokemon, actually. Like, one time I did go to an event, and, you know, you could play against people, and everyone had the same Pokemon. It was so boring. Just because it's a good strategy, not because they have any love for the game or the characters or anything. They just wanted these things that everyone else was using. It's so dull. That's why I used to play Zerg, because I liked the units, I liked how they looked. I have no idea what that is. But yeah, you know, like, people playing competitively, it's so boring. I think, did I already make the video about why I don't like doing competitive stuff? I don't even remember. I think I did. Just, like, yeah, if I try to be properly competitive, it's not fun. StarCraft. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about StarCraft, except that a lot of people are into it. I'm definitely not going to be playing, you know, those video games against people. It's too stressful. It's like Warcraft, but in space. I don't play Warcraft either. But, oh dear. There's a lot of, like, cultural references and things that I'm just not hip with. I guess that's what I get for being isolated from society and doing my own thing and not caring what everyone else is doing. And that's sort of how I do my YouTube as well, is I make videos that I don't watch. The types of videos I make are not the types of videos I watch. And I just do my own thing, and YouTube tells me, you should be doing this and this and this. And I'm like, no, just gonna keep doing my own thing. Warcraft is like Age of Mythology, but with orcs. Okay. So sort of like a resource gathering and fighting and so on. Oh dear. I think one of the stressful things about Age of Mythology is that it's not turn-based. Keep up the good work, you'll have 500k soon. Bye, see you. Yeah, thanks for coming along and subscribing and all that. I think 500k is a long way off. I would have to be here for a number of years or else go for more clickbaity stuff, but no. I mean, I've come along a lot further than I thought I would anyway, so yay me! And the weird world of the internet, but hey, there's enough people online that, you know, there'd be some people who'd be interested in the stuff that I'm doing. It's kind of interesting like that, because yeah, when I first started YouTube, it was really just a video diary for myself. I didn't really think anything would come of it, but like almost straight away, I mean, this is back when vlogging was a thing, you know, just casual vlogging was a thing. Yeah, almost straight away I started getting people viewing it and interacting, and it was just the strangest time. Yeah. And, you know, speaking of, like, back then, how I used to vlog, I am sort of thinking, like, why am I so scared to be crazy like I used to be? Like, what's stopping me these days? It's kind of, it is impressive. Your channel. Oh, thanks. I mean, it's still small, but yeah, no, it's doing pretty well considering it's just me doing my own thing. I don't have any strategy. I don't have a niche, unless you count me. My mind is my niche. And you know, all the other things that they say to do with YouTube. A lot of the time I don't bother with thumbnails. Yeah, just doing whatever I want. But that's more fun, you know, like I wouldn't, if I had to follow all that, it would just be a job, and yeah, not keen on that. But yeah, so why am I so scared to be crazy is the thing, because like I was talking to someone who had some really superstitious ideas, and like, you know, that sort of superstitious stuff is like socially acceptable crazy. But yeah, for some reason, the things that I used to put out there online, I feel uncomfortable with now. And it's, yeah, I don't know when that happened, how that happened. Something to do with my brain changing back with my last depression. I really think that was a big event for me. That really big depression changed a lot about my life and my brain. And yeah, finally giving up on antidepressants for good. Well, at least for now, like, you know, maybe eventually they'll come up with something. Sorry, this thing's just ignoring me. Maybe eventually they'll come up with some better way to work out what medications aren't going to mess me up. But until then, yeah, no thanks. Yeah, that's unfortunate, because I do think there are some aspects of my issues that would benefit from medication. It's just that the side effects and the way my body reacts. Sad face. But I'm doing well at the moment, and I think, yeah, YouTubing has helped a lot. And I don't know the exact reason, but I guess, yeah, having something to do a lot, and there's something about it that I like, even if I don't really know what. Yeah, and when, like, you know, video was something that fascinated me when I was younger as well. So there must just be something there. I don't have to understand it to be into it, I guess. Yeah, anyway, so I have a couple minutes left, or maybe 4 or 5 minutes left. So if there's any like last urgent things, go for it in the chat. Otherwise, the next live stream will, yeah, be on Thursday. Well, the next live stream probably on Wednesday if I'm playing video game. But that'll be a video gaming live stream. The next proper talking live stream will be on Thursday. We'll launch my merch. I'll wear this and tell you how it feels, you know, apart from just soft, like how it feels to actually wear it. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, we'll do that whole launch thing. Count backwards from 1,000, but only in prime numbers. Get lost. I mean, I could look it up. I used to know like 20 numbers of pi. What, 3.1415926. That's all I remember now. I think that's right. 26, but, yeah, no, it's been a long time, and there's no reason for me to buy. Yeah, so Thursday, I'll launch it. I'll put a discount on for the rest of November, for those of you who jump in early and support me. And getting my thing finally put on a shirt so I can wear it everywhere. And then, yeah, if anyone has an opinion on whether I should do more designs or focus on Spreadshop and getting that all set up, let me know, because I'm still umming and ahhing. But yeah, getting that launched is my first priority. T-shirt! Yeah! Yeah. So, coming out on Thursday. Do a community poll. Yeah, I guess I can put that in the community tab. Although, for the next post, I might, like, put something to tell people I'm doing this on Thursday. And then after that, maybe I'll do a community poll about what I should do next. The trouble is, when I do those polls, I don't get enough answers. So hopefully, if I do a poll, please, people, vote in it. And keeping in mind, I don't care if you actually plan to buy a shirt or not. I just need an opinion on what I should do, if that makes sense. Regardless of whether you want to buy it, like, you all have brains, you all have logic. What does your logic tell you that I should do? I'm interested to know. Yeah, at least I assume everyone has brains and that, you know, we don't have random bots popping up with brainless things, but seems like you're all legit. But, you know, you never know online who's actually a potato. So, yeah, you know that little thing on the internet, no one knows if you're a potato. That's where my brain went. So, yeah, tomorrow I'll just post whatever. Wednesday, gaming live stream, probably not going to chat too much, especially if I get absorbed in the game, and especially if I panic, and I have armies coming at me. Yeah, probably not going to do a whole lot of talking, but on Thursday, 4 p.m. Sydney time, so AEDT is what you want to type into Google to figure out when that is. And it'll be Thursday for me. I know some of you, maybe in America, it might still be Wednesday, I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm not on top of all the time zones. Thursday, and then Friday, what am I posting? Probably lizards. Because I know how much you guys love lizard videos. And then, yeah, no, got some more things to film, but I've got to do some music stuff. Oh, I've organised to see that psychologist about dissociation. Yay, that's something I can cross off my list. There's a few more things I've got. Oh my god, I need to rewrite my to-do lists, because there's like things crossed out and then there's things in between, and it's all out of control. Thank you for rambling on. Thank you for hanging out. I need to come up with an ending. You know, lizard. Subscribe and what? I've got my Patreon cult. I don't have YouTube memberships at this point. Just because it's too much for me to deal with. So Patreon is where it's at. I post when I go to the studio, like what art I've been doing, behind the scenes stuff, the early stuff on the merch design, whatever. And so it's like $1 US to sign up, but then there's more stuff above that. And then it gets into crazy territory because it's also my cult, and every cult leader has to have ridiculous money grabs. So I've got that all in there, which, you know, a bit fun to read if you want to have a laugh. Get ready to buy my shirts, I guess, and then we'll get into the whole cult. And yeah, it's mysterious. Like, my name is not written on it. It's just this mysterious thing. So you'll be walking around and no one will know what the shirt means, except for those of us who are part of the whole world of me. Blah blah cults, brainwashing, and what song should I let you guys go on? Do I have any that are a bit more hypnotic? Not really. Where's Rainbow Death Ray? Is there anything in that? Ooh, Carousel, maybe. The weirdest song on that EP. I'll let you go on that. So, if no one has any last minute things to say, I'm going to end the broadcast, and I will see you, some of you on Wednesday, and the rest of you I'll see on Thursday for when we launch t-shirts. Alright, here comes Carousel. Wait, I'll give you, how long is the lag? I'll just wait for the lag to go, and then I'll know that no one has any more questions. Okay, there it goes. Cool, the lag is actually not too bad again. So this is Carousel, it's from the Rainbow Death Ray EP. I will chuck in the chat for you. My own solo music, that's here.
For the longest time, truth was hard to find.
Oh!
So when I gave the answer,
Wait.
I thought you wouldn't mind.
That was not Carousel, that was still playing Catch-22, which is what I played at the beginning. I'll try that again. This one's Carousel, this is a bit more trippy. So this is from the Rainbow Death Ray. I was not paying attention. It's inspired by Alice in Wonderland. Some fun stuff going on in there. So I'll leave you on that. And yeah, I'll see you on either Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday I'm not sure what time I'll stream. Thursday 4 PM.